देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं भवामहे कविं कविमुपवस्त्रवस्त्रमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पद आनुशृण्वोति विश्वेदसादनम्। ओम महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम केशवाय ओम नारायणाय नमः। ओम माधवाय नमः। ओम गोविंदाय नमः। ओम विष्णुवे नमः। मत्सूदनाय नमः। त्रिविक्रमाय नमः। वामनाय नमः। श्रीधराय नमः। ऋषिकेशाय नमः। पद्मनाभाय नमः। दामोदर संकर्षणाय नमः। वासुदेवाय नमः। प्रद्युम्नाय नमः। अनिरुद्धाय नमः। पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। दोक्षाय नमः। नारसिंहाय नमः। अच्युताय नमः। जनार्दनाय नमः। उपेन्द्राय नमः। हरये नमः। कृष्णाय नमः। हरि ओम हरि ओम। I was discussing about the importance of Bhagavata and reading a little bit of Bhagavata also. There are unlimited benefits of organizing, attending at Srimad Bhagavata Katha, which is supposed to be very important to get rid of all our sins. And Bhagavata Purana says it is possible to get liberation from the illusory energy Maya of what we are facing in the world. A permanent happiness may not be found for everybody in the world, either on the earthly planets or in the heavenly planets, which one can attain in the next life after performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices. Both on earth and in the heaven, the living entity is harassed by the envy and rivalry of others that we can see and read in the Bhagavad Purana. Therefore, any person who seriously desires to find permanent relief from the sufferings of material existence should take shelter of the lotus feet of bona fide spiritual master who supports reading Bhagavata and teaches Bhagavata. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the Vedic scriptures of deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such a great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead Lord Krishna, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters. Accepting the bona fide spiritual master as one's life and soul, the submissive disciple should learn from him the process of pure devotional service. We have to follow the sattva guna in our life, and we have to attain Shuddha Sattva situation at the end of following the Sattva guna. After following Shuddha Sattva guna and continue Bhakti Marga, Bhakti Yoga of listening to Krishna songs or Krishna stories continuously is important. Accepting the bona fide spiritual master will help you to get rid of all the sins and progress in the Bhakti Marga. Then only the Lord Balaji or Krishna or Rama will be satisfied with the devotees. By thus following the path of the devotional service, the disciple gradually develop all good qualities and remove all the tamas guna, rajasika guna, and other bad habits. One should hear, glorify, and meditate upon the wonderful transcendental activities, appearance, qualities, and holy names of the Lord Krishna. Whatever one finds pleasing or enjoyable, he should immediately offer to the Supreme Lord. He has to offer his own children, home, and very life. Air should be offered to the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of God, Narayana. One should serve others and also accept instruction from the others. Especially, one should serve and learn from those who are pure devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By chanting the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, in the association of other devotees, one becomes satisfied and happy and develops a loving friendship with the devotees. In this way, one becomes able to give up material sense of gratification and material comfort, which is the cause of all suffering. When a devotee attains the stage of a pure love of Godhead and his hairs will stand on end, and he manifests various ecstatic symptoms. He personally meets the Supreme Lord and becomes full of transcendental bliss. By learning the science of devotional service and practically engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, the devotee comes to the stage of love of Godhead. When completely devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, the devotee easily crosses over the illusory energy of Maya, which is extremely difficult to cross without the blessings of Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, is the cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. Yet, he has no prior cause. Situated within the temporary and constantly changing material world, the Supreme Lord remains eternal and unchanging. He cannot be understood by the unaided mind or senses, and he is transcendental to the manifestation of the material world, which takes place as a subtle cause and the material effect visible in the appearance of the gross material objects. Although he is originally one, by explaining his illusory potency Maya, he appears in many different forms. He is always free from birth, growth, decay, and death, and he is the supersoul or Paramatma, the all-pervading witness who perceives the mentalities of all living entities. He is that supreme Brahman and is known as Narayana. When one seriously engages in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Narayana, the impure desires lodged within one's heart as a result of one's previous work with the three modes of material nature, that is Rajasika, Tamasika, will be destroyed. When the heart is thus purified, one can directly perceive both the Supreme Lord and oneself as transcendental entities. Through authorized study of the transcendental Vedic literature, one can properly understand the meaning of prescribed duties, non-performance of such devotees, and forbidden activities. This difficult subject matter can never be understood by mundane speculation. Vedic injunctions indirectly lead one to the path of ultimate liberation by first prescribing fruitive religious activities. Just as a father promises his child a candy so that the child will take his medicine. Like that, God appreciation of Lord Narayana is very, very important, and his instructions given in the Bhagavata and Bhagavad Gita are very, very important. Vedic injunctions indirectly lead one to the path of ultimate liberation by first prescribing fruitive religious activities. Just if an ignorant person who has not conquered the material senses does not perform the Vedic injunctions, he will certainly engage in a sinful and irreligious activities. Thus, his reward will be repeated birth and death. People who are not conquer the material senses, does not perform the Vedic injunctions, he will certainly engage in sinful and irreligious activities. Thus, his reward will be repeated birth and death, and goes on in the birth and death cycle in the universe. On the other hand, if one executes the regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas and follows the Dharma Shastra without attachment and offers the result of such work to the Supreme Lord, lotus feet of Lord Krishna, one attains perfect freedom from the bondage of material work. The material fruitive results offered in the revealed scriptures are not the actual goal of Vedic knowledge, but are meant for stimulating the interest of the performer. If a conditioned soul worships the Supreme Lord, Hari, by following the regulations found in the Vedic literature, such as the Dharma Shastra, he will quickly become free from the bondage of false ego. When a devotee obtains the mercy of a spiritual master who reveals to him the injunctions of Vedic literatures, Vedic scriptures, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, in the particular personal form he finds most attractive. In this way, the devotee quickly becomes liberated from all material bondage. This is very important. The material bondage has to be sacrificed. There are unlimited benefits of organizing and attending Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. Wherever it is heard, people should attend as much as possible. The prime result is that if a person is hearing attentively, can attain pure love of Krishna. There are many benefits, and we will mention few described in Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatma of Skanda Purana. The Supreme Lord said in Skanda Purana, O grandfather Brahma, one should regularly hear the famous Srimad Bhagavatam with faith. Know for certain that such hearing is the only means of satisfying me. Lord Narayana says, by listening to Bhagavat Purana, the devotees are more likely get benefit and God Krishna will be satisfied. One who daily reads Srimad Bhagavatam will attain with very syllable the results of giving brown cow in the charity. One who daily reads or hears even half a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam attains the result of giving 1,000 cows in the charity. One who daily reads Srimad Bhagavatam with full concentration attains the results of studying 18 Puranas. Vaishnavas like Prahalada, who was the son of Hiranyakashipu, are always present wherever the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are discussed or read or heard. Those who worship Srimad Bhagavatam are beyond the jurisdiction of Kali Purusha. So the Kali Purusha, effect of Kali Purusha will run away if you read Bhagavatam in the house or in the temple or in the association of several devotees. Those persons who worship the Vaishnava literature, Srimad Bhagavatam in their house are freed from all sins and they become worshipable by even the other gods. It is necessary the devotee to read Bhagavatam and apply the advice given in their life principle. Then only they will get 100% benefit. In the age of Kali-yuga, Lord Krishna will be pleased with those who regularly worship Srimad Bhagavatam in their house and dance without fear. This is the way how to become a good devotee of Krishna. These are the things we should learn. As long as Srimad Bhagavatam is present in one's house, for that long, his forefathers consume milk, ghee, honey, and water. Pitrutrupti, it is called Pitrutrupti. You are able to make your forefathers happy by keeping Srimad Bhagavatam in the house and read it every day. One who with devotion gives the gift of Srimad Bhagavatam to Vaishnava resides in my abode for millions of kalpas. This is what Lord Krishna says, with the devotion gives the gift of Srimad Bhagavatam to Vaishnava resides in my abode for million kalpas. In my grandson's naming ceremony, at the same time, we did my mother's 80th birthday celebration also. At that time, we did a homa, we did worship the Bhagavata books, about 108 copies of Srimad Bhagavatam, sets of copies in the bag. I made them to distribute to all the devotees who came to our function, and my mother gave the Bhagavata books for those devotees. That devotion was very, very important. Devotion to Krishna. One who always worships Srimad Bhagavatam in his house satisfy all the gods for the duration of Kalpa. Even if half or a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is kept in one's house, that is glorious. For what is need, accumulating thousands of other literature is not necessary. In Kali-yuga, one who does not keep Srimad Bhagavatam in his house can never be delivered from the control of Yamaraja. How can one be considered Vaishnava who does not keep Srimad Bhagavatam in his house? He is more abominable than a Chandala. The Lord of the universe, Lord Narayana, for my pleasure and the pleasure of the Vaishnavas, one should keep Srimad Bhagavatam with a great devotion in the prayer room and read as much as you can every day. In Kali-yuga, wherever the auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam is recited, I reside along with all the other gods. Lord Krishna says he will reside in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is not only a book, it is God himself. Lord Krishna resides in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Krishna says. All the holy rivers, Kundas and lakes, all sacrifices, the 7 sacred cities, Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, that is Haridvära, Kashi, Kanchi, Avanti, Ujjain and Dvaraka, and all the holy mountains are present where Srimad Bhagavatam is discussed. If you read Bhagavata in the house or in temple, and that means you have visited all those 7 sacred cities, that amount of punya you will get. O Lord of the universe, one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in order to attain fame, religiosity, victory, freedom from sin, and liberation in the end. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one becomes religious and he lives long life free from disease and all sinful reactions. O Lord of the universe, I speak the truth. Those who do not hear the topmost literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, or do not express happiness after hearing it, are kept under Yamaraja's jurisdiction. There is no more sinful than one who does not go to anywhere to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, especially on the day of Ekadashi. I reside in the house of one who has kept there a verse of half a verse or even a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. The purity one attains by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be attained by visiting even Badrikashrama or taking the bath in the confluence of Prayaga. Reading Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavatam, practicing according to the instruction of Lord Krishna will make you more nearer to Lord Krishna. O four-headed Brahma, I go wherever the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are discussed, just as a cow spontaneously follows the calf. Lord Krishna says to Brahma, he will go like a calf going along with the cow to the place where Srimad Bhagavatam are read or discussed. I never leave one who enjoys speaking or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna is with us. When you are reading Bhagavatam, one who does not offer respects after seeing the auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam loses his pious credits he accumulated over the past year. I am unlimitedly pleased with one who stands in respect and then offers obeisances upon seeing Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book. The book itself is Lord Krishna. That's how we have to respect Bhagavatam. A person who circumambulates Srimad Bhagavatam achieves the results of an Ashwamedha Yajna. With every step of this there is no doubt. Lord Krishna says, for one who stands in respect and then offers obeisances upon seeing Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer him wealth, wife, children, devotional service. Lord Krishna controlled by those who worship Srimad Bhagavatam with 16 ingredients, and here Srimad Bhagavatam is devotion. Among all types of festival, the festival of discussing Srimad Bhagavata is the topmost. You can conduct a 7 days Bhagavata Parayana in the temple or in a council of houses of so many people. They assemble. That sort of activity of 7 days Saptaha of reading Bhagavad Purana will be more appreciated. Those who participate in such festival of Saptaha, reading Durga, reading Bhagavata Saptaha, Lord Krishna, pleasure, and hear Srimad Bhagavatam with devotion, and those who worship Srimad Bhagavatam with cloth, ornaments, flowers, lamp, and incense certainly control me, just as a chaste wife controls her husband. Lord Krishna says, those who surrender to Bhagavata, read Bhagavata, practice Bhagavata in your life is more dear to Lord Krishna. Those people who follow the examples given in Bhagavatam and examples given in the Bhagavad Gita, they are more closer to Lord Krishna and Lord Narayana. That's why Bhagavata is very important. Bhagavata is very, very important to attain moksha also. It liberates, it gives liberation in the end of our life. नमोस्तु अनंताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षरपा सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषार्थये सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः आकाशात् परिरम्यतागत सागरं सर्वदे नमस्कारः श्रीकेशवं परिगत्यो नमः सर्वभेदेशत्पुण्यं सर्वतीर्थेषु यत्फलं तत्फलं पुमाप्ति वासनात् वासुदेवस्य वासन्ते जगत्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेवस्ते खाये नमः च मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना मा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. That concludes the importance of Bhagavata. Hari Om Tat Sat.